They said he was just a college kid with no future. But with one simple idea, Mark Zuckerberg built a company that connected billions of people, changed the way the world communicates, and became one of the youngest billionaires in history. This is not just the story of Facebook, this is the story of a young dreamer who turned vision into reality, through courage, innovation, and persistence. Mark Zuckerberg was born in 1984 in White Plains, New York, into a warm and supportive Jewish family. His father was a dentist, his mother a psychiatrist, a household that valued education, curiosity, and hard work. From a very young age, Mark showed a deep interest in computers. While other kids played outside, Mark spent hours experimenting with coding, exploring how technology could solve real problems. In fact, as just a boy, he created ZuckNet, a simple messaging program that connected computers in his father's dental office. It was the first spark of what would one day grow into a revolution. But Mark didn't stop there. He built simple computer games for fun, turning imagination into reality line by line, code by code. At school, he quickly became known as a programming prodigy. Later, at Phillips Exeter Academy, his skills stood out so brightly that teachers and classmates alike knew this boy was destined for something greater. And here's the lesson we take from young Mark's story: greatness often begins with small sparks. A child's curiosity, a passion pursued with consistency, these are the foundations of future success. Mark once said, "The biggest risk is not taking any risk." Even as a kid, he didn't fear experimenting, failing, or trying again. His childhood reminds us, every big dream starts small, but with focus and courage, it can grow beyond imagination. In 2002, Mark Zuckerberg entered Harvard University, one of the most prestigious schools in the world. While most students were busy chasing grades, Mark was chasing ideas. He studied psychology and computer science, blending his curiosity for how people think with the power of technology. At Harvard, he began creating small but impactful programs. One was Course Match, which helped students choose classes based on their friends' selections. Another was Face Mash, a website that compared students' pictures and asked users to rate them. Face Mash caused a huge controversy, but it also revealed Mark's boldness and his ability to build platforms that captured attention instantly. Then, in 2004, inside his small Harvard dorm room, with the help of his friends, Dustin Moskovitz, Eduardo Saverin, and Chris Hughes, Mark launched the Facebook. What began as a simple social network for Harvard students spread like wildfire across the Ivy League, and soon across the world. Within months, thousands of students were signing up daily. But success never comes without challenges. Mark faced lawsuits, including a famous case with the Winklevoss twins, who claimed the idea was theirs. Even his friendship with Eduardo Saverin, one of the co-founders, turned into a painful fallout over business decisions. These were not just legal battles, but personal struggles that tested his resilience. Yet Mark never lost focus. He once said, "Move fast and break things. Unless you are breaking stuff, you are not moving fast enough." That mindset kept him pushing forward, through criticism and challenges, believing in the vision of connecting people worldwide. And that's the powerful lesson here: when you dare to build something new, criticism will come, obstacles will rise, but persistence and belief in your idea can change the world. From a dorm room to a global stage, that was Mark's leap. Mark Zuckerberg had a choice: stay at Harvard and finish his degree, or take the biggest risk of his life. He chose the risk. He dropped out of Harvard to dedicate himself fully to Facebook. And that decision would change not only his life, but the way billions of people connect. From 2005 to 2010, Facebook grew at lightning speed. What started in a dorm room spread to universities, workplaces, and eventually every corner of the globe. Millions joined, hungry for a platform that made the world feel smaller, more connected. Early on, Mark secured funding from investor Peter Thiel, which gave Facebook the fuel it needed to expand. Soon, more investments poured in. By his mid-20s, Mark Zuckerberg had become one of the youngest self-made billionaires in history. But success wasn't just about growth, it came with competition and challenges. To strengthen Facebook's empire, Mark made bold acquisitions: Instagram, WhatsApp, and Oculus VR. These moves showed his vision wasn't just about social media, it was about the future of human connection itself. Yet, leadership was never easy. Facebook faced heavy criticism, from privacy controversies to questions about misinformation and policies. The world admired him as a visionary, but also questioned the immense power of his platform. Still, Mark remained focused. He once said, "In a world that's changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks." Through every storm of criticism, he held on to that belief. And that's the lesson we learn here: true growth is never a straight line. It comes with risks, mistakes, and criticism. But those who dare to keep moving forward, who dare to innovate despite the noise, they're the ones who change the world. Behind the billion-dollar empire and global fame, Mark Zuckerberg's personal life has always been surprisingly simple. In 2012, he married Priscilla Chan, his longtime partner from his Harvard days. Together, they built a life centered not on luxury, but on love, family, and service. They are proud parents of 2 daughters, and despite his enormous wealth, Mark has often said that family gives him his greatest joy. Unlike many billionaires who live extravagantly, Zuckerberg is known for his humility. He drives simple cars, wears plain t-shirts and hoodies, and chooses modesty over flashiness. But what truly sets him apart is his commitment to giving back. Along with his wife, he founded the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, pledging to give away 99% of their Facebook shares, worth billions of dollars, to causes like education, healthcare, scientific research, and equality. Their mission: to make the world a better place for future generations. Mark once said, "The question I ask myself like almost every day is, am I doing the most important thing I could be doing?" And this philosophy reflects in his choices, building not only technology, but opportunities for others. The lesson here is powerful: true success is not just about what you build for yourself, but what you give back to the world. Wealth can buy comfort, but values create legacy. And through his humility and philanthropy, Mark Zuckerberg reminds us that leadership is not about power, but about responsibility. In 2021, Mark Zuckerberg took one of the boldest steps of his career, rebranding Facebook into Meta. His vision? To build the metaverse, a digital world where people can connect, work, and live in ways never imagined before. Some call it revolutionary, others controversial. But one thing is certain: Zuckerberg has never been afraid to take risks and challenge the limits of technology. From a dorm room project to shaping how billions communicate, Mark's journey has completely transformed the way we live. His story isn't just about coding or social media, it's about daring to dream big, embracing innovation, and staying resilient through criticism and failure. He teaches us that the world doesn't change because of ordinary ideas, it changes because of extraordinary courage. Remember his journey: a curious boy who loved computers, a Harvard dropout who built Facebook, a visionary who continues to reinvent the digital future. If there's one lesson to take from him, it's this: great ideas can come from anywhere, even a dorm room. What matters is the courage to believe and build. And now, my friends, I want to leave you with this question: what's the idea that lives in your heart, and when will you take the courage to build it? If this story inspired you, don't just stop here, share it with your friends, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more journeys of visionaries who changed the world. Because your story could be the next one that inspires millions.